I woke up one morning and I simply said, I want to make some money from Habbyfx's trading strategy. Now, initially, my plan was to see if I can get into his free Telegram signal group and make some money.
And the loyal members, as soon as celebrate me, I need to celebrate you guys. Yeah. Alright, man, this one must go round.
But he doesn't really give forex signals constantly unless you join his paid group. So I had to do some digging from YouTube and get into his YouTube channel to learn his secret forex strategy that I can make some money and see if his strategy is tested and trusted. For the past month, Habbyfx has been on a losing streak, and I think it's because of the Trump market. So let us see if the Trump market is actually going to affect us too. Let's know if we're going to do some things differently. Now, this is the third episode of this video I've done. For those of you that have not seen the first and second episode, please kindly check it out. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, you must have seen the Lambos, you must have seen the Rolls Royces, you must have seen the Teslas and the Mercedes Benz that this young man, Habbyfx, has in his garage, and also with his friend, Jeffrey Benson. And listen, I'll tell you for a fact, these guys are killing it in the forex market. With no BS and no too much cap, I'm here to teach you the strategy that they use to acquire all these luxurious vehicles that even you can do it for your own self. Let's jump straight into the markets. So this is GBP USD. And first things first, before we start anything, let me delete everything so my screen will be clear. So in this forex strategy, there are many things in which we have to come across and we have to check. A whole lot of people use support and resistance, in which support and resistance is not really going to be enough if you're a forex trader that you really need to tell the overall direction of the market. So instead of just working with support and resistance, there are a whole lot of other things we can work with. Now, first things first, we're going to work with the overall direction of the market. And I always say this, if you watch my videos, you must have heard me say it multiple times. Now, this is GBP USD. This is Jeffrey Benson's favorite pair. Now, in GBP USD, we know some kind of things that have been happening in the market with Donald Trump currently in the US, but nothing too serious has happened. It just happened here. But then for GBP USD, what is the overall direction of the market? Now, to know the overall direction of the market, we have to give what is called a higher high and a higher low. Now, let us start with the low. Okay, we're going to start with the low. So this is a low. This is on a daily. Okay, let me go to a weekly time frame. So this is on a weekly time frame, right? Now on this weekly time frame, we're going to stretch it out. Remember, you need to stretch out your market so it's not going to look too congested, so you can understand it better. So this is on a weekly time frame. Now on a weekly time frame, where are the lows in this market? So we're going to point out the lows. This is a low point, right? This is a low point. Now another thing a whole lot of people could get confused is there's a difference between a candlestick and a wick. Okay, let me delete this. This is a candlestick, this is a wick. The wick is literally not existent. You know, some people, I know sometimes I do it. So some people could come and place their line here, in which there's nothing wrong with that, but I think it is better you place it here. Reason being that if you convert this right now, this is on a candlestick chart, right? This is on a candlestick chart. If you convert this candlestick chart to a line chart, voila, you see the wick literally disappears. So I think this one is more accurate. The one in which we placed in the wick is less accurate. When it comes to wicks really say, or the not bar, candlesticks, wick only simplifies where the market went to. Now it's trying to tell you that, remember, this is a blue candlestick, so it means the market opened here at this bottom. At this bottom, this was where the market opened, and the market closed here at this top. Now the wick is only trying to signify where the market pushed down. So it means that the market opened here and at some point it pushed it really down. It means the market was actually about to keep on going for a sell. So at this point it was red candlestick. Then it pushed it up, and at some point, this point in which it opened, it was able to push it above, even up to this point, but then came back down here. And I believe you understand what I'm talking about, okay? I really hope you do. Yeah, I think this is better. But then it came back down here. And I really hope you do understand what I'm talking about. So forget about the candlestick wicks, is literally not existent. It just shows you where the market went to. This is more accurate. But then again, we can see this is a low. Now if we come back to what we're explaining, we're trying to mark out the lows and the highs. So we can see this is a low. This is another low. We can see there's another low here. There's another low here. There's another low here, and there is another low here. So these are the lows, okay? These are the lows of the market. So if this is a low, this is a low, this is a low, and this is a low. So what is the market doing? Is the market on an uptrend or a downtrend? Let us see. This is a, remember, this is a low, and now this is a high. So it means we have to mark out the highs, right? Before that, let us mark out the highs. Now let's change the color. So this is a high, but then let us change the color, so you're going to understand it more. So let's change it to green. So this is a high. This is let's look for another high. This is another high. There are many other highs in which obviously I'm not going to point out everything. This is another high. This also is another high. Then also this again is another high. So there are many other highs. These ones too are highs, but we're not really going to speak about those because those are not significant highs. So we can see this is a low, this is a low, this is a low, this is a, the blues are lows, the greens are highs. So let us trace it now, the lows and the highs, and let us see the direction of the market. We're going to take these two. So from here, this is a low, this is a high, down, this is a higher low, this is a higher high, this is a higher low, this is a higher high, then this is a higher low. Now this is a high, but this high was not able to beat this high. If this high had beaten this high, then we would have called it a higher high. But unfortunately, it did not beat this high. So this is a high, but it's not a higher high. It's a higher low. Now this is a higher high. Why? Because this high beats this high. Do you understand? And this comes down here and is about to make a new all-time, okay, not an all-time high, but a new high. Now it is still here in which it has not broken above here. So at this point, it is still at the low, but it is most likely going to break above and get us a new high, right? So if it comes here, then we're going to expect a retest and keep on going to the upside. But now the question is, what if it doesn't come there? That's what we're going to check. But for now, what we can see is the market is actually on an uptrend. And we can see this is how the trend of the market kind of is. Now, if you take a look at this right now, if you take a look at this side of the market, this is a low, right? The mistake in which, remember, we're talking about identification of the trend. Now, the mistake in which a whole lot of people could do is a whole lot of people could enter for a sell right here. They could go for a short position at this point and say, okay, the market is going down, and then they could enter for a sell, in which it is not wrong, okay? They are trading against the trend, but yet it is not wrong. But then again, I'm not really going to encourage you to do that because this is literally going to take out your stop loss. Imagine if the person had their take profits at this level and all of a sudden it went back to their stop loss. Stop loss hits. Unfortunately, you lose. So that is why you need to understand the overall direction of the market. Now, the overall direction of the market is telling us that it's going for an uptrend. Now, this pullback is a pullback for it to create the next high. Do you understand? So on most cases, it is not advisable to enter a market when it is about to pull back against the trend, unless you're pretty sure of that trade. For example, at the level in which I am, I can literally enter this trade. If I check one or two things and I'm sure, I think I can enter this trade right here. So entering a trade against the trend is not the way forward, but sometimes it happens. But you need to understand that the trend is your friend. So you need to make sure you flow with the trend. So like I said, the first thing is we have to understand the overall direction of the market, okay? Now we've understood the overall direction in which it's kind of on an uptrend. Now, you see this. Now, this is a break of structure. It is called a break of structure, in which I'm going to explain that in a short while. The reason it is called a break of structure was this, okay, let me go out again so you're going to see it better. Now, yes, this is what we're working with. Now, the reason it is called a break of structure is, remember we marked out the highs and the lows, right? Now, the highs and the lows, where do they meet? Okay, no, not that yet. Remember we marked out the highs and the lows, right? Now, where was the most recent low? Before this low, where was the most recent low? This, right? This is the most recent low. And where was the most recent high? This was the most recent high. So this angle should be the angle that we're working with. This angle, because this is the most recent low and this is the most recent high. So this should be the angle that we are working with. Can you see that? The most recent low plus the most recent high. So anything inside this space, that is what we're meant to be working with. If it is above, it has broken above, so it is a new high. If it is below, it has broken below, so it is a new low. If it is in between, it is consolidating. That is what we're meant to be looking for, because this is the most recent low and this is the most recent high that is fixed. So that is one thing we should know in this market right now. Then why I say this is a break of structure is because now you see it broke below this most recent low. Now from here, a whole lot of people could make mistakes and they could enter for a sell, in which I'm not going to do that. But you're meant to understand the trend. Now the reason I'm not going to enter for a sell right here will be explained later, so you need to watch until the end of the video. Now I believe that is understood. So the next thing now we're going to be doing is after understanding the overall trend, now we have to mark out the key levels, in which sometimes I call sensitive points. Now remember, this is still on a weekly time frame, so we're not going to mark out too much key levels. Now how I mark out my key level is basically, what points do you see a high and a low come together? Now let me give you an example. Remember, the greens are the highs and the blues are the lows. So this, the green is a high, right? And if we trace it, is there any blue close to this green? Yes, which is this. So this is a high and this is a low. So we're going to most likely mark this out as a key level. Yeah. Now we can also check, this is another low, this is another high. This also is a good point also for another key level. But then again, you know, this is on a weekly time frame, so we're not going to overmark things, because if we mark things too much, if we mark out the lines too much, it is going to be scattered. So instead, what I'll do is this point right here, this point right here is a key level. Yes, it is a key level. Let me fix it correctly. Yeah, I think it's good like this. This point is a key level. Now another point that is a key level also is right here. This is another key level. Now if there's any other key level that you can find, fine and good, be sure to add it. But we're not going to add all the key levels right here, okay? Now we're now going to go down to a lower time frame. Now remember, the first thing we did is we have to identify the overall direction of the market, in which we have done. It's on an uptrend. So it means we're most likely going to be looking for buys. But then again, we would now come down to key levels. Now in terms of key levels, now we have to go down to a lower time frame, so we're going to understand this. Now this is where the market is at, and from what we're seeing, this is on an uptrend. Okay, this is a daily time frame. Now a daily time frame means every candlestick, it took 1 day here to form. Yes, literally 1 day. Every candlestick from here, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. So you can see from here, literally from here down to this, it took about 9 days, 9 solid days for all this, more than a week. But then again, it's not really our focus for now. Now we see that the market is on an uptrend, and the key level, especially this key level, is being respected. Now how is it being respected? Now we can see that this key level we marked out earlier, we can see how the market breaks above and comes here to touch this key level. So it means the key level is respected. So imagine we took a buy from, okay, a long position, not a short position. Imagine we took a buy from this key level to this zone, and then we kept this literally under here. So this is a 1:5 risk to reward. And this would have been a very, very wonderful trade. Yes, a very wonderful trade. But you know, sometimes we don't see the future, but we can possibly predict the market correctly. So this is a nice 1:5 risk to reward. But then again, we're not done, because remember, this is a daily time frame. So this would have taken about 3 weeks. Yeah, this would have taken, because here alone is literally 1 week. So this would have taken about 1 month. So we can see the daily time frame is on an uptrend. We don't need too much. We can see their highs, lows, highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows, and up again. So that's for the daily time frame. Now we now have to come down to the 4 hours time frame. Now what do we see that is unique in the 4 hours time frame? Literally nothing much. We only see consolidation and an impulse move. So the market has been consolidating from the 6th of March to the 2nd of April. So literally 1 full month. The market, this is literally 1 full month. The market for 1 month, the market has been consolidating for 1 month. And this is not the time that you should be in the Forex market. For now, the market has been consolidating. So that is one problem we have with the Forex market. There are times that you should not even be in the market. So this is GBP USD. And from what we're seeing, the market is still on its uptrend, very correct. But then again, how long will this uptrend last? So we need to look for some opportunity. Now, this is what I would say. As long as the market is above this consolidation, it means we could most likely be looking for opportunities here for the market to bounce into this zone, and then we take it to the upside. That is one. Reason being that, remember, we talked about overall direction, we talked about key levels. Now we are also going to talk about highs and lows, buying points and selling points, in which I may not use this pair for that example. Maybe I'm going to look for a better pair. But for GBP USD, it's not really clear because of this consolidation. So nothing much has really happened in a long time. But then if we want to mark out key levels, this one is a well-respected key level. This is a well-respected key level. And another key level here. Now remember when I talked about this consolidation zone, now you can see obviously this consolidation zone is being respected. It has broken above the consolidation zone. We're about to push to the upside. So as it had to break, it means there's most likely no stopping it. We just need a retest and then we take it to the upside. But that is for GBP USD. So the next pair in which we're going to be looking at is USD JPY. And it's funny how there's this trade on USD JPY I predicted about a month ago, or more than a month ago, actually about 3 months ago, because this is January and I'm recording this video in April. So I predicted this about 4 months ago. I remember when I made this prediction, and we can see it is still right here, and I said that USD JPY is going to fall. It's going to experience a massive drop, and ladies and gentlemen, would you look at that? It dropped very well, and it's still dropping even till now. So if I want to analyze USD JPY, first things first, let me delete all those lines I have right here. So first things first, like I talked about, the overall direction of the market for USD JPY. Now USD JPY, let us mark out the highs and lows. So we're going to start from here. This is the low. Now, okay, the lows, let me change this to red. So this is a low. Another low is right here, very clear. Another low is right here. Now another low, which is here again and here again. You see the lows, the 3 lows have occurred at the exact same place. Now we can see 1, 2, 3. Now let's mark out the highs. This is a high. I'm going to change this to blue. This is a high. Which other high? This is another high. So this is another high. This is another high. Now also this is a high. This right here is a high, but this is not a higher high, but this is a high. Now if we look at this market, is it on an uptrend or on a downtrend? Overall, it's on an uptrend. it has had what I call a semi break of structure. Now what I mean is, remember the lows and highs in which we've marked out. Let us come here now. If we are going to zoom in on this, remember this is a high, right? This is a high, and this is another high. So this is the most recent high. But now this was where the market broke. It came and it broke below this high. That is why I said a semi break of structure. It broke below this high, and when it broke below this high, it failed to go above this previous one. So there's a tendency that the market is about to, it has not had a proper, because for you to have a proper break of structure, it should break below the most recent low. And now where's the most recent low? This is the most recent low. Now some people could argue and they could say that this is the most recent low, in which if they say that this is the most recent low, they are not wrong actually they are not wrong, but I like to put this, but still this, because this is a high and this is a retest, so it has had a break of structure actually. So yes, the market has actually had a break of structure. So we can see that the market, yes, is on an overall uptrend, but seems like it has started making some downward move. Now from this break of structure, what do we have? Let us go deeper and see. This is on a monthly time frame. Let's go down to a weekly time frame. All right, so we can take a look at the market on a weekly time frame. Now some of the key levels are, I think this is one of them, not that much. Then this is another key level also, which is not that much, and a whole lot of other key levels. So we've understood the overall direction, we've marked out the key levels. Now let's see how the market respects the key levels, because remember, it's on an uptrend, but lately started making lower lows and lower highs. Now if we look at this, I don't like using trend lines, but I know Habbyfx on most cases likes using trend lines. Now if we want to draw a trend line accordingly, this is how the trend line will be, and that's broken already. So the trend line has been broken. So this trend line right now has been broken already, in fact multiple times. But you know, the market, whenever it comes here, it pushes up. Whenever it comes here, it pushes up. So as it has come here, will it most likely push up? Most likely the answer could be yes. So let us see, what do we have? We have a top and a top here. So these are two double tops. Now whenever the market does a double top, it most likely pushes itself back down. You can see this is like a minor double top right here. Yeah, you can see this is a top and a top. It's like a minor double top. So whenever the market has double tops, it literally pushes itself down. So it has kind of had a double top here, or we can see this. So that's why it is pushing itself down. So it has pushed itself. If I had seen the market somewhere here, I would have taken the trade to the downside. But unfortunately, I was not able to grab the markets. But then I don't think the market is going to have enough momentum to break below here. I don't think, because it has not had it for a while. So we're going to wait for this market most likely to retest or come back to this down fully, and most likely push it back up again. But if it retests and goes to the downside, then we can now take it to the downside. There is a mini uptrend here, just a very mini uptrend. We can see the market making higher highs and higher lows. A high and a low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Then made some consolidations here before it broke beneath, and it came back now to retest this exact same beginning point to push it to the downside. So the market does have some momentum, strong momentums to go to the downside, but where the market is right now is a place of decision making. I call it place of decision. We are not sure where it's going to go, so we're going to allow it to do its thing. If it breaks below, we take it below, but I feel it's going to push to the upside. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I know this was a very quick one, but I'm going to update you, and I'm going to see how the markets are going to go for this week. Okay, bye for now. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 14th of April 2025. As we can see the dates right here, 14th of April 2025, Monday. The market just opened and the time is 12:45 a.m. So the market just opened early hours of Monday morning, and I just did my analysis. There are about 4 to 5 pairs I just analyzed, and I want to show you guys how the trade or how my analysis have been going and what I'm expecting For now, my camera is not here because I'm broke, yes, but we're going to come back to that later. So the first one I'll be expecting is the Euro AUD. Now, first things first, from the Euro AUD, this is on a 1 hour time frame. I'm expecting a push to the downside. Reason because if we go to the monthly time frame, we can see that Euro AUD has been on an uptrend for a very long time. But this place is a place that it has respected multiple times. Whenever it comes here, it pushes it down. So it has come here again. Maybe most likely we're expecting some down push. And then if we go down to the lower time frame, we've started seeing that started having this long wick rejection right here, in which most likely it's going to have the down push. And if we come back again to the daily, then we can now see the market doing some stuff. So just to understand the analysis, the market was making, it was on an uptrend right here, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and high, and then it broke below. Now this is what is called the break of structure. Now this right here is a proper break of structure. Let me get that. This right here, this is a proper break of structure. Now it has had this break of structure and it broke below the structure perfectly and it came to retest. So most likely we're still expecting some push to the downside, but I could enter the market here, in which I don't like entering the market in random points. I like entering the market in a sensitive point. So I decided to rule out this line, in which it's a point that the market has respected multiple times. So there is another chance that the market could respect it again. So I'm expecting a break below, a retest, and a push to the downside. Then the next one in which we're going to be expecting is USD CAD, in which is very similar. Now USD CAD has been on a downtrend for a very long time, so I don't even need to go to a monthly time frame. So it means, the trend is literally there. The trend is your friend, and if the trend is your friend, then we have to work with our friend called the trend. So just follow the trend as the trend has always been. If we change this to a line chart, we can see that the trend has always been on a downward move. And yes, it is just simple. Like I said, just join the trend and keep on going to the downside. But I can enter here, but the problem I don't want to enter here is if we come down to a 45 minutes time frame. Okay, yeah, this could be a very good spot to enter, but I don't want to enter. I'm waiting for it to break beneath here. Like I said, I don't like entering in random positions. You can see it's not that random. Here is respected, here is respected, here is respected 3 times. So this is a very respectable place. But if you can respect here, it's obviously going to respect here too. So it's going to be good if I enter here, the trade is here, but no, I think I'm fine with here. So if we have a break under and below, then I'm going to be entering the trade for USD CAD. And then the next one is Euro GBP. Now from here, the pair has started not really going into my favor, but let me explain Euro GBP. Now Euro GBP, for a long time, Euro GBP has been on an uptrend. Now this is on a weekly time frame. If we go to a monthly time frame, we can understand that, okay, actually Euro GBP has been on a downtrend, or kind of consolidating, but it has been on a downtrend. This is a monthly time frame, and this is 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this from here to here is already 1 year. So you can see this is 2023, this is 2024, and this is 2025. So this is literally 3 years. So for 3 years that's been on a downtrend. Then in 2025 it decided to have this up push since Donald Trump came into power. So it means that the market has been making higher highs and higher lows. It is on an uptrend. So like I said, we've identified the trend. We just want to follow the trend. So this is a key level that the market has respected, and we're expecting it to respect it more. Now I'm having a feeling that this market could pull back again to this other key level, because this is another key level that is respected. Yes. So I'm having a feeling that the market could pull back, most likely to this other key level, in which if it does, it's not really gonna be a good thing, but then again, we're still going to survive. But I'm expecting some entries right here. So the market is up. So I want to know if the market can simply come back down to this entry, then I can take it to the upside. But if it doesn't, then unfortunately we have officially missed the trade, because the trade is already halfway and I cannot be entering a trade at this point. Because if we clearly look at this, this is a little downtrend, in which I am sure that the downtrend has ended. Yeah, it's a good idea. Also, I'm just seeing that I can also enter from this spot. I can, in which I may think about it later, but not now. Okay, I'm expecting it to pull back down, or maybe if it does not pull back down, maybe if it breaks above and retest, then I may be entering at this spot. So GBP JPY is one of those trades that will take a very long time, because if we look at GJ, it has been on an uptrend for a very long time. And I marked this line out and I said if it had broken below this line, this would have been a break of structure. But there's no break of structure right here, because this was okay. Let me explain this. Remember, this is a high, this is a high, and it retested. So this is the most recent low before this most recent high. So if it has broken below the most recent low, then it's a break of structure. But we've not had any serious break of structure. We've just been having some consolidation right here. So we need to look for an opportunity in the midst of the consolidation. So most likely I'm expecting it to push to the upside. Reason being that this is a sensitive point, in which this sensitive point, it has been going to the upside. So most likely it could still push, but GBP JPY is not my most favorite pair for the week, I'll be honest with you. If it comes here, I'm expecting a break above and retest and take it to the upside. If it doesn't work, fine and good, I find something better. Then the last but not the least, which is CHF JPY, not also my most favorite pair, but CHF JPY, it has been on an uptrend for a long time, so I'm just expecting it to, it has literally come into this position where I'm meant to take it. But I'm not going to take it now. I'm not going to be taking any trades now. But for CHF JPY, we're going to see how CHF JPY is going to be going. Okay, I'm going to expect a break above and retest for CHF JPY. A break above, retest, then I take it to the upside. So I'm going to be stepping out of the market and I'm going to come back and update you guys later. Bye for now. Alright guys, so this is trade updates. The environment looks so this is where I find myself today. So let me go inside and let me show you what the markets are doing. Okay, alright, so guys, if we come here into the market, there are some pairs in which I've analyzed here on my watch list. Let's start with GBP USD. Nothing really much is happening. What I want from, okay, let me make this a full screen. What I want from GBP USD is just, we can see the market is making higher highs and higher lows. This is on an uptrend. On the 4 hours, it's on an uptrend. So this uptrend will obviously continue this uptrend. And then we can see on the 1 hour, I want the market to come into this area of interest, or maybe even here this key level, then I take it to the upside. So that is for GBP USD. This is not really a trade I'm really interested in. And the next one is Euro USD. Now Euro USD is the exact same as GBP USD, but you can see this is GBP USD and then this is Euro USD. Now Euro USD is a counter trend trade. Euro USD is literally the exact same thing. If we go out to the 4 hours time frame, we can see that Euro USD has been on an uptrend. So this uptrend was so volatile that we are expecting some pullbacks into this downside. Then before we now have another volume or to have a liquidity grab in which we can now take the market again to the upside. So why wait for this liquidity movement when I can jump into it on a maybe 1 hour or 45 minutes time frame? So that's why I'm expecting this trade. So all I'm expecting right now, we've seen this is a head and shoulder pattern, although it's not perfect. There's a left shoulder, it made 2 left shoulders, the head, drop right shoulder, 2 right shoulders, and then it's making some little consolidation right here. So I'm expecting a break on that retest, and then I'll take it to the downside. Expecting a break on that and a retest, then we move to the downside. That is for Euro USD. And then the next one, in which is GBP CAD. Now GBP CAD is a very large trade in which I don't think it's going to play out today. The GBP CAD. For GBP CAD, I'm basically expecting it to pull back just like Euro USD. So I'm basically expecting it to pull back to this area of interest, and we take it to the upside. We can see for GBP CAD, the weekly is bullish, the daily is bullish, the 4 hour is bearish. So this is the daily. So we can see it has been making higher highs and higher lows in the daily, right? It has been making a whole lot of higher highs and higher lows. If we move out, so from here it has been going to the upside. So this point is actually a point in which it broke above this consolidation zone, broke above, and it retested back to this consolidation zone, and obviously it's going to push again to the upside. But then again, I'm expecting it somehow to make like a double bottom. That is why, so if we come to the 4 hours, I'm expecting it to make like a double bottom, kind of, in which it did here, but I still have a feeling that this market could pull to this downside. Or if it doesn't pull to this downside, it could just break above here, retest, and we can still take it. But we're going to be looking for buys for GBP CAD. And then the next one is Euro GBP, in which this would soon start playing out. Euro GBP is a pair that I think I kind of like the Euro GBP pair, specifically because, okay, if we check the 4 hours, so Euro GBP has kind of been on a downtrend for a very long time. This is a daily time frame, so it has been on a downtrend for a very long time. If we can see, this downtrend is very huge, so it has been on this downtrend for a while right now. So obviously we're going to still continue the trend, but then again it came to this major liquidity zone and it pushed back to the upside to this level in which it has been respected before. So as it pushed to this upside, I have a feeling that still continuing the downtrend, it is still going to push to the downside. Now I know I talk about feelings. Listen, this is the forex market, okay? In the forex market, we don't work with feelings, we work with correct analysis. Let me just make that clear. But then again, if we look at the 4 hours, so this is the 4 hours, and this is a very clean market structure in which I love. This is a head and shoulder in which you all know, left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and push to the downside, break under and retest, and we take it to the downside. Now it could retest here, but yeah, that's a good one. It could retest here and I can just take it from here, so I may not have to wait, right? And I mean, I still have more profits. Just take it all the way down. Seems like I'm going to do this. I'm still not sure, but seems like this is what I'm going to do. But even if this does not work out, I have a feeling it's going to break, because we see this is 1 touch, 2, 3 touches. It will break below and retest this key level on the 4 hours time frame, in which I think I trust it very, very well. This is CHF JPY, and I think CHF JPY is one of those counter trend trades I have. I guess so. A whole lot of trades I have is a counter trend. So if we look at CHF JPY from a weekly time frame, it has been on an uptrend. It has been on an uptrend for a very long time now, but then it seems like it's about to have a shift of structure, because the uptrend stopped here. Nothing has broken above this. So this was the highest high, right? And this is the most recent high. So this highest high seems like it started making lower lows from the highest high. So it has started going to the downside, but this, although this one was able to meet up this other one, but it still did not break above this highest high. So it seems like the market is about to make a shift of structure. Now if we go down to the 4 hours in which I want to enter the trade. Now from the 4 hour, this is a very clean setup in which I like high, higher, low, high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is like a head and shoulder in which if we go to a lower pattern, we could see and a break below, and I'm expecting a retest. Then once I get the retest, I take this trade right now, CHF JPY. That's for CHF JPY. And CHF JPY is one of those trades I am rooting for. I am really expecting CHF JPY. Because if we go to maybe a 45 minutes time frame or maybe a 15 minutes time frame, we can see now this is not really a clear, it's not really a clear head and shoulder, but we can see this is like the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and then break beneath, in which it could come back here again to retest this zone, or maybe around here, then we take it to the downside.
Now this is not a perfect head and shoulder, yes, it is not. So this is not a perfect head and shoulder, but still, as long as it does the job, you understand it already. And then the next one is going to be USD-JPY, in which USD-JPY is a trade I'm about to enter. I think this is a clean setup. USD-JPY has been on a downtrend for a very, very, very long time. So we just continue the trend. Literally, we can see USD-JPY has been on a downtrend for a very long time. Low, high, low, high, low, high, lower, low, lower, high, and so on. It just goes down, retest, goes down, retest, goes down, retest, and so on. So let us just continue the trend. So these are one of the cleanest setups I love so much, because listen, the trend is your friend, okay? So just continue the trend. You don't have to be trading against the trend. Yeah, I know there's some counter trend trades I have, but I'm not really going to encourage any beginner to go into a counter trend trade. Now, I believe in the forex market, if you want to enter, you should have 2 time frames in sync, 2 time frames that are together, aligned. Now let me show you basically what I mean. We can see this is, I wrote this down, this is still USD-JPY. So the weekly is bullish actually on USD-JPY. If we go to the weekly time frame, it kind of looks bullish. We have to pull it out. Yes, it is having a shift of structure even in the weekly. But if you see, the weekly has been going up, right? This is the highest high in which it has not broken above, but seems like it's about to have a shift of structure. If it breaks below here and retests, perfect shift of structure. But then the daily is bearish. The daily is clearly bearish. So this is the daily, right? The daily is clear, it's on a bearish trend. And then the 4 hours is even more bearish. So this is the 4 hours time frame. So this is the 4 hours time frame, which is even more bearish. So in this case, if we come down to the 45 minutes, then we see the perfect trade. The market has been going down. It has been making like a consolidation in this zone for a long time, but still looks bearish, still looks like a downtrend. If we bring out the trend line, we can see it's still a very clean setup, right? So this is what I'm going to be expecting. I've gotten the break below retest. I'm going to be entering this trade soon. And then the next one is AUD-CHF. Now AUD-CHF, I was expecting a break above and retest. I think AUD-CHF is a counter trend trade. I'm not sure, but yeah, seems like it's a counter trend trade. Now the reason I decided to take this AUD-CHF pair is if we go to the weekly. Yes, exactly. So this is a counter trend trade. The weekly has been on a downtrend, right? But then again, you know, one thing about the forex market is it always has liquidity grabs. For example, if the forex market has been on a downtrend like this, and then it goes on a downtrend, it is obviously going to come back again to have a liquidity grab to keep on going. So this right now is where the market is, which is here, and it has broken below this major support zone. You understand? Or this major resistance zone rather. So now it is obviously going to come back to want to test this zone again before it gets some energy to push to the downside again, because the market is not just going to keep on going. No, it has to come back again to retest. So that is why we are at this zone right now. So why not take it to the upside instead of waiting for it to keep on going to the downside? So that's why this is the counter trend trade. If we go to the 4 hours, we can understand it better. Now from the 4 hours, we now understand the concept of the counter trend trade. Double bottoms pushed to the upside above this zone in which it has been consolidating for a long time now, but I'm expecting a break above and take it to the upside. Now remember that overall downtrend. Now this is a counter trend trade, but it is still a good, I think I like this trade very well because it is going to go up for a liquidity grab and then still go to the downside. So I'm not going to hold this trade for too long. I mean, at some point, if the trade starts misbehaving, I could even, maybe anything could happen. I could even close the trade somewhere here, or maybe even here. I'm not going to close it here, but somewhere around here. But let me leave it for here for now. Then I think the last one, this is AUD card, in which this trade is going to take a really long time before it plays out for AUD card. But still, it is a very simple trade, expecting like a double top, then I take it to the downside.
Then I think the last is AUD JPY. I think it's also a counter trend trade. Expecting a break above retest, I take it to the upside, because let me go to a larger time frame. So the reason I took this trade is it's a trade that's been going to the upside, right? But then again, the reason I took this trade is we can see there's like a head and shoulder pattern here, so it may come back here to retest before it pushes to the downside. So it is another kind of counter trend trade. If we go down to the 4 hours, then we can see why I am deciding to take this trade, in which I kind of like this trade. So I could take this trade, enter. I'm expecting a break above retest, and I take it to the upside. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, if I can take this trade before my time lapse or my timeline finishes, then I'll update you guys. If not, you can check the trades yourself. You have seen everything: AUD JPY, AUD CAD, AUD CHF, USD JPY, CHF JPY, Euro GBP, GBP CAD, Euro USD, and GBP USD. So you can check these trades yourself and know how the predictions went about. Bye for now.